Welcome to On the Chain.
This is a story. I'll read this story, but there's a reason I'm pulling this up. But I wanted to pull this up there because we're kind of getting caught up in this entire hype about XRP, Ripple, the headlines, what these networks are doing. Here's one right here. Top crypto analyst. Ripple will explode after the SEC lawsuit. If you're willing to wait for an outcome, you're going to be too late. And that goes on to say,
if you're waiting for an outcome, to get in to XRP,
correct.
then it'll be too late.
Right.
So,
you won't be able to.
Yeah. And that's based on Thinking Crypto.
This was an interview with Tony from Thinking Crypto. Credible Crypto said that Ripple's tech indicators are not good. They show bearish signs. Still, XRP fundamentals make XRP a favorite to hold firmly. According to him, it may be too late for those waiting for the outcome to start buying because of the ongoing lawsuit. According to Credible Crypto, technicals are not yet looking good. XRP does not look that great right now, and I think we're probably going to go for these lows here, 50 cents, but you can see where we are now.
I like it.
And push into this weekly level of demand that we have here. Again, this level is significant because from this level, we saw a major move to the upside after what was essentially about 6 months of consolidation.
Then I'm perusing the comments here.
Yes.
Just had to take a side. Can you believe that? Settlement deniers.
Settlement deniers.
Then there be fighting words.
Well, that's the other narrative. It's like if you
100%.
look, but Mr. B,
100%
Mr. B.
Yes.
If
I
you
deny
look,
settlement.
we're not denying him when he says settlement deniers. Listen, listen, and again, if we were wrong and there was a settlement, that's another great thing to be wrong about. However, just judging by the way things have gone, and Mr. Gensler, Daddy G's ego, the size of Mount Rushmore, I would think that he would rather fight to the death. He cannot go down being defeated because a settlement would be a defeat. And any settlement he'd want to settle for, which we know they've already thrown something out there, at least when the last chair was there, Clayton, he threw something out. They said they didn't want to settle. So if the settlement doesn't meet the expectations of Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, they're not going to settle. And how do you see Gary Gensler? You imagine him wanting to settle?
Can you imagine? I mean, first of all, he's stuck in his living room. He doesn't know all this stuff going on outside, in the sunshine. But check this. Bullish Mr. K over here. Matching regulators around the world. No other jurisdiction sees XRP as a security. It's a globally recognized bridging.
That's a great
currency.
point.
That's a huge point right there. Followed by Apex. I wonder if Judge Torres will actually hold the SEC feet to the fire of prior rulings or just keep playing judge like Nepper did.
Well, I got to say, I've been reading some stuff too that I think is going to be pretty favorable, pretty fair. And I think both judges understand the monumental size of this case and its long-reaching aftermath of what is going to come. Because if you come out and say, well, okay, you might say you might make the argument or win an argument. You still got to prove it. You still got to prove that they were selling unlicensed securities. But that's not the part that any of us as retail investors really care about. The only thing we care about is that today's XRP is not a security. And like Mr. Gates pulled up there, who made the comment? Who was that was up there? You just pulled up the comment. Mr. K, the one before that.
That one.
Bullish Mr. K. That right there says it right there is that you're basically going against the entire world because there's not another country out there that has regulations that said it was a security. And that's something really difficult to go against. That's like a trout swimming upstream against the current. You look at Singapore, you look at Australia, you look at UK, and then you got the US, which is just an utter disaster at this point. But that's the one I was talking about, Jeff. Thank you for throwing that up there. It's a really solid point.
Great comments.
Great comments indeed. So here's another little tidbit here. It said, let me get that off the screen there. There we go. Once the case is settled, you can expect the price of XRP to skyrocket. So if you're waiting to hear the outcome and the case to intervene, you're going to be too late. If you're betting right now and your bet pays off and XRP wins, XRP will skyrocket at a course. Ben Armstrong, famously known as BitBoy, which blockchain backer will be on there. I think he's going on there next week, and that's going to be actually good to watch. I think that'll be a really great show to watch. If you're a YouTube following 1.45 million, can you imagine that, Jeff?
Yeah.
Can you imagine a following 1.45 million people?
And I'm imagining it.
And 800,000 on Twitter.
It's going to become a reality one day.
It's insane, man.
But you probably have to be why Ben Armstrong? Ben
He was there. Yeah, BitBoy.
BitBoy. Why BitBoy?
Well, because when you're a middle-aged man, and it's like you can't become BitBoy. It's like I remember Boys to Men. It's like we're Boys to Men back when they were boys, but then they're like all in their like mid-50s now. You know what I mean? Like anytime you use that word boy when you're, it just doesn't work. When you start aging and you're like, he started going by Ben Armstrong when he crowned himself the king of the XRP army. He started going by Ben Armstrong, which I think is better. I mean, I think it'd be better to make a name for him as Ben Armstrong.
BitBoy was a little,
yeah, I mean, it was a cute little name. It was a cool little icon, a little mask and stuff. I mean, look, it was a thing. He did it right though. He got in at the right time. He put his money where his mouth is. He got into Bitcoin early and made $1 gazillion. So you can't argue that. Whether you like him or not, he's done very well. He's attracted a following. God bless him. There you go.
BitBoy. He should hang out with the Island Boy.
Recently, Island Boy. So recently, a Fox journalist brought up an extremely intriguing question. She asked that if the SEC legal team declared Ripple non-security in 2018, what changed 2 years that made the SEC file a lawsuit against Ripple? That's an intriguing question. Who was that brought up that extremely intriguing question?
Interesting. A Fox journalist once said.
Declared Ripple a non-security in 2018. Now, their legal team. Let's unpack that. So, Eleanor Terrett recently questioned the ongoing lawsuit between the SEC and Ripple. Ripple Labs and the U.S. Security. According to Terrett, the SEC legal team reviewed Ripple. Okay, yeah, I remember this. On June 13, 2018, the day before Hinman's speech on Ethereum security status, it came with no recommendations to hold Ripple and its executives accountable for security.
Yep.
For security, there you go. This fact made her think about what might have led to the change in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, you look at money. There's so much money involved at this point in the Ethereum Foundation, and all those projects built off the ERC20, and all the different elements that are benefiting from the smart contracts of Ethereum, the high gas fee, the high transaction costs. Everything that's kind of bogging it down. But regardless, there's something else pulling some strings, behind the scenes, whether it's nefarious or not, don't know, but there's more being orchestrated. And I think that's kind of what she's saying there too. Why do you go all these years, right? And basically when there's entities or individuals within the entity that are reaching out and saying, hey, I want to, what's going on? I mean, the SEC hasn't given any kind of guidance, and they're asking for guidance, and they're just ignoring it. And would you assume that, when you ask for something and they ignore, that's kind of, approval in some way, shape, or form, or are they just not interested? It's just like too much time elapsed, Chip, with the, the SEC just kind of ignoring it. And then all of a sudden, why was it on Clayton's departure? Why was it before Gary Gensler takes over? Why was Gary Gensler meeting with Clayton before? There's all these different elements. That
things that make you go,
Yeah, they just don't add up.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.